Look at the time. Look at the time. The time is 7:07. I'm 7 minutes late. Apologies for that, family. But I was still getting prepped and ready for this podcast tonight. And tonight, I am going to be dropping jewels, some more jewels, and giving free game. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to Plugged In. Thank you for tuning in. You guys have been rocking with me for the past few weeks. Now, this is something that's still fairly new, and I'm still working out a lot of the kinks and bugs. Uh, I still haven't found a way to add my theme song in here. Because music just makes everything better. You know, uh, it just kind of gets you in that zone. Like when you get ready to go to a game, when it's game time, baby, and then the football team or the basketball team got their little thing going to where they getting their mind right. Yeah, that's what it does for me. But I will be adding that back soon. Most times when I've done these, if you guys have been following me for a while, you've seen that when I do the edited videos, that we go in and we do all of the add-ons and all of that type of stuff like that, which we will be getting back to that. Plus, I got something that's going to be. I'm going to drip this on you because I appreciate you guys for coming in. Give me just a second. I'm trying to get to my main screen to where I can see who's coming in. I'm using multiple pieces of equipment now so I can see who is coming in because I want to make sure that everybody has a proper shout out and gets all of their credit uh, coming when they come into the live. But tonight I'm going to be dropping jewels on how to. Um, Actually, let me kill that volume so it doesn't be any reverb backing up in there. But tonight I'm going to be dropping jewels on starting your own clothing brand. And we're going to touch a little bit on shoes as well. But this just to give you a start. Now, this comes from a stem from a conversation from a friend of mine who gave me a call today from Florida. And she was like, hey, she said, Robert, she said, uh, I got some great ideas for these t-shirts and I want to put them out there. And the response has been coming back has been great, has been huge. And she said, I need you to plug me in on some game. So I said, sure, cool. I said, tune in tonight and I'll be dropping game on how to get that off the ground and running. I'm trying to get back to the screen. I still am not able to see who is coming in. So if you guys are chiming in, please comment into the comment box on whatever platform that you're chiming in, and then I'll know to give you a shout out. All right, so here we go. Uh, Dropping jewels. Thank you for tuning in, plugged in. I think I've already done that, which I think is one of the hottest podcasts that's out there right now because I plug you in with the information that you need in order for you to be successful and live life on your terms and achieve the dreams that you have been wanting. So with that, let's get this thing started. But first, um, I had some people hit me up in the comments last night. I couldn't be able to see them. Uh, Appreciate you for tuning in, Tom. Um, we're going to be dropping jewels on how to start your own clothing brand as well as your own shoe line tonight. But I need to go back and answer some questions from last night's podcast. Uh, and this was a sister, Miss Gray. Miss Gray was asking some questions about how to create and get her business page going through social media platforms. So now, for you, Miss Gray, if you're watching it tonight or if you're catching this on the replay, I am giving you a free one-on-one session to get your business page up off the ground. I will be uh, giving you free game on getting your business page off the ground, tailor made for whatever product and whatever service you are pushing out there to the your customer base. If it's a product You have access to 4.9 billion people all over the world. And if it's a service, and if you're willing to travel, depending on what type of service that it is. Now, if it's a strictly local business or a local service, I still can show you how to promote, push that to the 100,000 people in the Etowah County area. If you want to go statewide, I can help you do that. If you want to go nationwide, I can help you do that as well. Please comment your name for if you're tuning in. I'm watching you on several platforms on two different pieces of equipment. So to give you a shout out, type in your name when I can't even see who that is. Type in your name and I'll give you a shout out on the podcast. But again, Miss Gray, you have won, well, not won, but you have got yourself a free one-on-one session with Robert Muhammad, the plug. And I'm going to plug you all the way in. We're getting your business page up off the ground on all social media platforms and start the process of you earning and achieving a living life on your own terms and achieving the amount of money that you want to achieve. Whatever that number is only with you, but I can give you the information and plug you in with the information that'll help you get there. So let's get to this business tonight. So again, Miss Irene, down in the state of Florida, you had a question. You want some information about how to get your own clothing brand in this t-shirt company off the ground. And I decided to throw in shoes as well. Now, yes, for those of you who follow me and follow my business page, you guys already know that. Let me get over here and I'll show you some of the products that I have put out already. And you guys can purchase these through Book RD Muhammad. And you can get these shirts right now for $24.99. And they are all motivational, inspirational shirts that has some of my favorite quotes and some quotes that I have even made myself, as well as some go getter hustler type stuff. If you really are serious about being an entrepreneur and not a entrepreneur, when we touched a little bit about this last night about changing the way that you think, changing the way that you think. Changing something that you do to your routine every day starts the process for you to get prepared for this journey that you want to embark upon. So I was in the midst of showing you guys some of the new shirts that's coming out, or they're actually already out. But just to give you guys a heads up on this, I'm trying to pull up this page right quick. Let me go back and share this so you guys can see this as well. And this is what we're dealing with tonight. We're going to be talking about how to start your own clothing brand. And this is going to be fire. Because I'm going to show you two ways to do this, family. One way I'm going to show you how to do this is the hustler's way. Now, there's one of my shirts there. And I will be showing you how to have these shirts put on models so people can actually get an idea how the shirt will look. Ooh, yeah. Preparation plus planning equals success. This is one of the truest things that I have ever said. Because in order for you to become successful, you have to prepare yourself. There's one of the lessons that's in my school of thought that says, prepare yourselves for positions waiting on you or awaiting you. The universe has already put these things into motion. What's happening, TJ? Appreciate you for tuning in. The universe has already prepared you for the life that's ahead of you. They've already put things in place for you to have these things. The one thing about this is that you have to prepare yourself in order to receive those gifts that the universe has already put into motion. And then once you are prepared for it, now you have to set up a plan to pull that into action. And then you will have success. The other quote that's on this shirt right here is one that was used by Gary Vee from an interview that Gary Vee, and Gary Vee said it, not Gary Vee, Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone said in that interview that millionaires are the new middle class. Now, last night I touched on this a little bit because the millennials now have figured out a way. The millennials now have figured out a way to become millionaires with none of the work. Now, granted, even in the social media marketing world, it is a little work that's required, but it's not the knuckle busting work that a lot of us are doing even today. And eons away from the backbreaking work that our parents did in the industrial age. So, but millennials have now figured out ways to get paid a lot of money and don't do the work. And this, family, is one way of doing it. Branding and marketing your own clothes. And you can do it now in today's time by simply taking quotes, because nobody has a patent on a quote. Nobody has a trademark or a copyright on a quote. It was something that was already said in front of millions and millions of people. What's going on, Miss Gray? Miss Gray, for you just not tuning in, and you probably missed this, I am going to give you a one-on-one session with me because I didn't get a chance to answer your questions last night. So I'm going to give you a one-on-one session with me, and I am going to help you build and create your business page and get you onto the path of you living life on your own terms and achieving the dreams that you've always wanted. So please inbox me, or you can email me at bookrdmuhammad@gmail, or you can inbox me like you did today or last night. Inbox me your information and a date and a time that we can sit down and or we can set up a Zoom link for you, and then we can get your page. I'll walk you through everything that you need to do. You click what I click, you type in what I type. The only thing that I need you to do is to come up with your business name. Now, once you come up with your business name, I'll show you how to create and build content around that page, and this will start driving traffic. And I will even teach you how to read the analytics and the numbers that Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn will be giving you to show you whether that particular product or service that you are offering is a product that you should be scaling or ramping up or adding more to, or pushing that product to wherever you want it to push to, or that service. I don't know. I didn't know, or I didn't ask the question if you had a product business or a service business, but my system and my program will work for anybody. It doesn't matter what it is. I just need to know what direction you want to go. And I also would like for you to come up with a number in your brain of where you want to be within the next 6 months, 12 months, and 2 years. And I will help you get that going, put you on the path to doing that. All you have to do is follow the blueprint that's already been laid out. And we're going to give you the same information that I've given other clients of mine and help them on their path too as well. So I will do that for you, Miss Gray. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for submitting your questions last night. Now, getting back to why millionaires are the new middle class, is this because millennials have come up with products and doing products just like this. Now, the old school way of putting out t-shirts meant that I would have to go to a graphic designer or go to somebody who does vector type designing, and they will put out, I will tell them some ideas and blah, 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 blah. We'll go back and forth. Maybe you're going to spend a half a day, a couple of hours, or maybe 2 days tossing back and forth ideas about the design and the layout of the shirt. And now this is just two of them. I have several others just to give you guys. I don't want you to get stuck on that page right there. But just to give you an idea of what millennials are doing right now, uh, let me just take you to the site. And we'll get there because I don't want to stray away too far from the point that I wanted to make right now. But to give you guys that, millennials have figured out these ways. They've figured out ways now how to come up with their own shoe. Their own shoe. With their name, with their brand. Now think about this, family. Out of all the people in the world that has bought, I just made that word up, bought. Don't be stealing my words. That have bought Jordans. Here's the craziest part about this. The shoes that are coming out now, that's Jordans, which people are saying they're retro, but they're the same shoe that came out in the 80s and 90s. The exact same one. At 5 times the price point. And Michael Jordan has not sent one letter, one thank you email, one customer appreciation letter or anything to anybody that has bought his shoes. And you guys helped Michael Jordan all the way to the level of becoming in the Billy Club. Now imagine you creating and coming up with your own shoe. Look at the number of Timberlands that people have bought in the Timbo days when people were buying Tims. I'm going to show you companies that actually make the Tims, and you can get that same exact shoe and have your company's name or your logo or your brand put on there. And people can buy your shoes. People can buy your clothes. Think about the amount of money that people are spending on a Gucci belt right now. I mean, a real Gucci belt, not Leroy that's selling Gucci belts at the trunk at the gas station. Not the knockoffs, the real Gucci belts. That company, now Gucci is the brand. It has its own logo. But the number of people that are spending that kind of money on something that just holds your pants up. Now, in today's society, they don't even use it to hold their pants up. This is have it ran through the pants because the pants is, I guess, it's to hold them on the thighs or whatever. This is what millennials have figured out. And they've the fastest growing millionaires. I just saw another segment yesterday where there are 178,000 new millionaires just this year to date, as of yesterday's date. 178,000 new millionaires. Ooh. And it's all because of social media platforms now. People are not spending all of that money on websites. You don't have to spend all that money on web designers. You don't have to spend all that money on web teams and graphic designers and all of that stuff. People are learning through this medium how to create and do all of that themselves at a fraction of the cost. Literally, family, I have an assistant that does everything I need her to do. Type information, data entry. She works 2 of my online e-commerce businesses. Really? Little old me has an assistant. You can do the same thing as well. Thank you for tuning in. I'm trying to see who this with us that just came in. What's happening, Steve? Thank you for tuning in to the podcast Plugged In, where I give you the information that you need in order for you to be successful and live life on your own terms. Now, what we're getting up into tonight is how to create this clothing brand. And this is what I'm going to show you right now. Now, first I said I was going to give you the 2 traditional ways of doing this. The 2 ways of doing this. One is the old school way, the hustler's way. So you would find a company and you would come up with your logo and you'll tell them whatever the design that you wanted to put on the shirt. And then they'll either silk screen, which it has that little plastic peely stuff over a couple of washes that'll start to come off. or they'll do a vinyl screen, lasts a little bit longer, but it's a little bit more expensive. And then the company, normally the company that you got the design from, they were the ones that had the shirts. So you had to use their shirts. Nothing wrong with that. But you would also have to pay their price. Nothing wrong with that. But your returns, let's say, now the last time that I had some shirts made, I was in a different organization some years ago, and I had some shirts that was made, and we managed to buy the shirts for $7 a piece. Great money, because we was in return we was selling those shirts for $15 a piece, so we was making $8 on the shirt. Got our $7 back and our $8 profit on those shirts. But here's the problem with that. We didn't know how many people wanted the shirts. We didn't know how many people was going to buy the shirts. So we knew that if we wanted to make money, everybody in that club would have to get on the grind to sell all of these shirts. Now, some companies have a minimum purchase. You got to buy at least 100 shirts. I mean, that's the way for the company to make their money. So simple math. $7 a shirt times 100, $700. That's how much that one company made. Now, in our mind, we're already thinking at the $15 margin, and nobody ever said we're only gonna make $800. We just said we're gonna make $1,500 because $15 times 100 shirts, simple math, right? But and when you okay, and we're back. Apologies for that. Um, I don't know how you get booted out of your own broadcast. Okay, sorry about that, family. Um, where were we? Now, here's the thing. The we were talking about the deceptive intelligence. What's up, Stacy? Old classmate of mine. How you doing out there, family? Appreciate you for tuning in. Um, now, here's the thing. That type of thinking of deceptive intelligence on the mathematics was we never said that we was just making $800. We always looked at the big number because we was looking at $1,500. And most times that's what people will sell you. Well, you guys can sell these shirts for 15, 20 bucks. And they always try to talk you into selling the product for more than that. But they was going to make their $700 regardless. So, but what, and in today's time, in today's society, uh, People that was like, wait a minute, we get to cut the middleman out, all the way out. And it's three ways, actually three ways instead of two. It's three ways. All right, now that was one way, traditional place. Now here in my home city, we had this place called the East Gas and Sporting Goods, and you can go over there and get shirts made, blah 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 blah, and they'll do these shirts any kind of way you wanted to do them. Back then, they used to do the stitch on, the embroidery, and all of that stuff. But real cool shirts, real nice looking shirts. But the money was somewhat good, especially if you had something that was well put together. But you had to grind and hustle each one of those shirts in order to make. You knew you had to do at least 70 shirts to make your money back. You knew you had to do at least that. You had to make at least $700 just to break even. But then by that time, you didn't know the hardest part was getting that $800. Now, if you're in a small city or a small town like mine, by the time you sold to one side of town, man, the new had already wore off by the time you crossed over the bridge. So now what people started doing was moving to other companies. Now, there's a company also here in Alabama called Russell Athletics. Now, people in Alabama know about Russell Athletics, and people in other parts of the country know about Russell Athletics as well. And the thing with Russell was in the initial stage, predate Nike, Adidas, and Converse. Maybe Adidas. I know Adidas and Nike. Predate. Russell Athletics was the premier athletic company in the entire country. Russell did helmets. They did the football pads. I know for Pee Wee teams, they had the sports industry on lock. I mean, they had their own basketballs, and if they are in a smaller city than my city, a little small city called Alex City, Alabama, about maybe 25 miles from Auburn, Alabama, which houses the greatest university in the world, War Eagle. Yeah, I said that. But Alex City is right about 25 miles west of Auburn, right on 280. And if you've ever go through there or ever stopped there, you will know who owns that city because Russell's name is on everything there. Everything. From the do-it-yourself center all the way to the high school. Russell's name is everywhere because Russell did so much for that community. So Russell was in the t-shirt game. They was into the sports apparel game. Even in the earlier years, they made a lot of the collegiate athletics uniforms. You saw that R on everybody's shirt. Now with the influx of Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, and other big name athletic companies, Russell has been, and with outsourcing hurt Russell a lot because Nike was getting stuff imported from across the pond. So their profit margin, even though their retail cost was high for a brand new company, their profit margins was even higher. And Russell couldn't compete with the swoosh. So now, why am I telling you all of this? Because right now you can go to companies like Russell. You may have one in your city or in your state that does t-shirts or does jogging suits or does any type of athletic apparel in that area. Now, in the retail world, or the clothing world especially, they have what you call first. Either first, seconds. Some people know them as irregulars. Nothing wrong. Now, the first are the ones that actually make it to the retail stores. These are what we see when we go into a retail department store and we buy the clothes. Those are the first runs. Those are the ones that has passed quality and said, this is store quality. People can buy it. Then you have seconds or irregulars. Now, nothing wrong with these clothes at all, period. Maybe a stitch or a seam in a sleeve might have went a little in, things like happen like that. Be it human error or the sewing machine that they was working on might have messed up. So you have it will make that particular piece an irregular or a second. We can't sell this it's not department store quality. So guess what happens to that particular piece? It gets thrown in a box behind that seamstress. One of the sleeves may have been slightly shorter than the other one by a couple of centimeters, but it didn't pass quality inspection. And guess what it became at that particular point in time? Irregular. Now, think about over the course of a day, how many times that has happened to a piece. Just think about on your job. How many times there's been a oops or a uh-oh, or the machine that you might be working on might have defaulted, blew a fuse and something, and it caused that particular product to be bad. And now some jobs, they just throw that straight on in the trash. Straight in the trash. Now, the same material that they use to make the department store quality shirts or jogging suits or whatever the case may be, hoodies, it's the same material that is used on the irregulars. It just didn't pass quality inspection because something was wrong. I've seen some cases to where the tag in the neck of the shirt might have gotten cocked a little cattywampus, and it was sewn in cattywampus, and it didn't pass quality inspection. We can't put that out there. So it gets tossed in that box. Now, and I'm telling you all of this for a reason, because this is reason number 2. So now you have people like me in another time frame in my earlier business endeavors. I would drive all the way to Alex City from my city, and I could buy boxes of irregulars. The only thing that was with this type of hustle is you didn't have a say in what the color was. You didn't have a say in what the size was. And you didn't have a say whether it was short sleeve, long sleeve, V-neck, crew neck, or any other thing. Tank top. You didn't have a question. It was just a box. But you can buy a box of 500 irregulars at that time. Now we're talking like early 90s, around 93 from 93 to 95. You can buy a box of 500 irregulars for like $125. Now, in a hustler's mind, that's bank. Because now all I have to do now is take these shirts, sort through them. Didn't matter what the color was. I just needed to sort through all the smalls, medium, larges, extra large, whatever was in that box. Get rid of the kids. Donate the kids to women's shelters and all that stuff. Get a tax write-off. But I would take the adult shirts, take them over to my silk screen lady, and have them put my image on there, and then I'm popping and selling shirts. Now, when you do the math on that, 500 shirts divided by $125, that should tell you how much I was paying for these shirts, each shirt. And now what the real game was my silk screening price, where they was charging me, and this is when I learned what they was charging me for the shirt and what they was charging me for the silk screen. And I'm honest to God, being completely transparent, completely truthful, Oh, I forgot to put the turkey tape. Um, I was paying more money for the silk screening than I was for the actual shirt. Mm. So now my profits are a little bit better. Instead of $8, now I'm making about $12 per shirt profit. Now, those are the two ways to do it. You can find you a company and you'll go back and forth with them on a price, but you still don't know how many you're going to sell. And you're going to have to grind to get that 800, just for the example that I gave you. Or you can find you a company like Russell Core, go in there and buy you a bunch of irregulars. I mean, nobody knew they were irregulars. Now you can be honest and tell me again, this was way back in the 90s when I was just trying to get it. I didn't tell nobody they were irregulars. It didn't matter. They liked the design and the logo on the shirt. So and they popped. I mean, no, and when you think about it, family, nobody is going to walk up to you with a tape measure and say, "Ooh, one of your sleeves is shorter than the other one," or "Ooh, that seam right there is a little crooked." If somebody is all up on you like that, you need to be getting a marriage proposal. You understand what I'm saying? So now to carry this on to the third phase, and this is the millennial era now. And actually, people have been doing this type of business for the last 10 plus years. I'm gonna say 10 to 12 years. And I didn't catch on to this game until I didn't catch on to the actual game until this year. But I have known people to do it for the past 6 years. Now it's just now starting to click. Hey, Robert, you missing some major bread. And this is the game that I'm going to show you tonight. So let's get right off into this. And we're going to take this right to the next stage. Actually, hold up. And I'm going to share this screen with you guys. Mm, mm, mm. And this company is called Teesprings. Teesprings. Teesp ring. RING. Teesprings. And once you create your account, as in with any free game that I tell you, family, I actually use this site. And of course, you got to go through a lot of verifications and all of this stuff to keep people from hacking your account because people can get onto your account. I mean, that's just anywhere in life now. Uh, you got to check all of this stuff. Oh, good grief, man. Great Scott, Batman. Free game family from Plugged In with Robert D. Muhammad, where I'm teaching or explaining how you can start your own clothing brand. Good God Almighty, this is a lot of checks and boxes. There's not another crosswalk, bro. So you got to go through all of that just to log into your account, which I don't mind. But doing a live broadcast is really kind of kind of sucks, you know. Uh, but I'm gonna make sure that you guys can see this screen here. Oh, guys couldn't see it. Okay. All right. Uh, let's get over here to the stores. Uh, and you want to integrate this page in with your Facebook page. Uh, because you can sell directly through Facebook. You can actually set up once you set up your store and you set up your integrations, you can really sell through this site here and it will post automatically onto your social media accounts. You will just have to set up which social media platform you want it to go to. Um, here's another one of my shirts that we posted up, and I got this quote from a brother named Brother Khan. I don't know where that brother is from, but this is a long sleeve tee. Just another motivational quote: "Get right or get left." And you can see that the shirts are retailing for $28.99. And you can choose actually the colors. These are all the different colors that these shirts come in. And you can see. So when you have your customers come on here, they can actually click and see what the shirt will look like in whatever color they are wanting. And you can choose the sizes on these, and they go all the way up to a 5X. And all they have to do is type in the quantity that they want to purchase. Now, I selected a timer on these shirts because the response that comes back on the shirts that I push, because I really try to tie them in with an ad promotion that I run through Facebook or run through social media. And so I'm like a get it now. Once I put the fillers out there, based on the response that comes back from those beta tests, that will tell me whether this shirt is a hit or miss. Now, the great part about this company is I have not bought one single shirt. Let me say that again. Now, and you can see regular fit, unisex. It can go either both ways, male or female. You have that option to choose. But this is my shirt here. And I have not spent any money on it. But it is available to sell online and through my social media platforms. Now, here we go again. Let me drop you some other game. Let's go back. Now, the great part about this company too, you can order samples. So if you physically want to put your hand on a product and you want to still, because I know that hustle and grinding is in some people and they can't get away from that. They don't want to transition over to the new paradigm of doing business. I got to see what the quality like. Really? Really? Okay, cool. Haven't bought much on online before, have you? Because I can guarantee you nobody has questioned the quality of products that they bought off Amazon or eBay. They didn't go back and forth. They liked it. They saw it. They liked it. They bought it. I mean, seriously. How many times have you bought something online and then you're going back and forth with the store or the seller about quality? If you like something, you buy it. But for those out there who want to touch and feel and get the quality, you can order samples. You can order samples and get those samples in, and then you can have that out there. But here's the thing: when you do that, you're out there and you still got that hustle and grind mentality, and people saying, "Well, oh, okay, I'll buy one." They finna buy. They finna buy your sample. Well, do you got an extra large? No, I just got this medium. It's just a sample, but now you got to change the game up and say, hey, well, you got to go to my website now, or you got to go to my Facebook and buy it. I'm gonna tell you what happened when you do that type of game. Let me get back over here so you guys can see the seriousness in my demeanor. Appreciate you for tuning in. To plug in. When you have that type of demeanor when you have that type of hustle, to where you have a sample piece, and that's all that it is a sample piece. The person, you just lost that sale because now you showed them something, but then you took it away. Well, you can't get this one. Well, what do you mean you can't get this one? You're trying to sell me something that you don't have. See, you see how that kind of makes you not look good? So now that's what's going to do is that's going to set up in your mind, Man, I should have bought a whole bunch of them. No. But this is because you still have a lot of people that's my age or from my generation that are still trying to sell or operate and move a business under the old system, and it doesn't work. Now, what will happen in a lot of cases, and I've had a lot of clients who do this, they'll buy a whole bunch of samples and then they right back into that hustle mode of trying to sell. And then frustration sets in because they can't sell all of that stuff. Now you got a whole house full of inventory. It kind of reminds me of the time when I was in a MLM business and I bought all of this product because I was amped, I was juiced. I'm about to sell all of this. And I wound up buying all of that stuff, man. And then what actually wound up happening, I wound up drinking all of that nasty stuff. I mean, that kombucha juice is terrible, man. Oh, God. It smells something terrible. And you trying to sell a 40-ounce bottle of some funky juice, and I wound up keeping all that stuff. It happens like that because you're thinking under the old paradigm. Now, let me tell you how we do this. You have your business page set up through your social media platforms. And once you integrate this page, let me get back over here. Once you integrate your clothing store to your social media platforms, all you have to do is click that button right there, promote my listing. And this company will start booming all of your stuff for you. Well, they'll place it wherever you want it to be placed. You see how the game works? This is what millennials are capitalizing on. Nobody's buying shirts anymore. But guess what I did? I loaded up my image. Put my graphic, whatever I wanted it to say, put that on a shirt, and boom, there it is. Here it is, the success equation. And I give them some type of catchy title. Some of you, if you're following me, there's my preparation plus planning equals success. And you see what my shirts are selling for? And here are all my colors. Regular fit, unisex, can go man or woman. Because I designed my shirts to fit with the motivational mind frame. I want my product to be bought by women or men. It don't make a difference to me. Now, let me show you something else. And now that's two products. There's the new middle class. Millionaires are the new middle class. Now the CFIG EA shirts. Now these are shirts that was created strictly for people who graduate my online marketing program. And the CFIG EA is this right here. You already see it. Six Figure Earners Club. Six Figures Earners Club. And these come on all of these different colors. We try to brighten them up a little bit. Some for the women, some for the men. Now, this is how we have converted and gotten our own clothing brand. But wait a minute, Robert. You said they got hoodies and all of this other kind of stuff too. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let me show you. Let me get back over here and share this page again so you guys can see what we're working with. When you get ready to come up with your product, here you go. We're just going to do a mock listing just to give you guys an idea how to do. This is what you have access to, family. Now, in the times of COVID, when everybody's wearing these little new type of masks, neck gaiter, here you go right here. Face mask. You can design and create your own face mask right now. Instead of trying to talk Auntie Irma Jean into making on her because she knows how to sew, now Here's the beautiful. You can create your own face mask right there. I mean, let me finish that thought. You have access to hoodies. You have access to yoga pants. Huh? What I tell you? Boom. What I tell you? You got your yoga pants, your joggers. Now, hold up. Wait. There's more. Swimsuits. You can create and design your own clothing line strictly from here. You can even do your own pet clothes if you want to. This is why millennials, our children, our offspring will be richer than we are, and they didn't do any work. They're not getting up at 6:30, 4:30 in the morning so they can be at work at by 6 o'clock. They're not working 10, 12 hours on the job. They're not. Your own socks. You can start your own sock company. Which in the male world right now, because men are wearing some. I saw a guy the other day. His socks was just as mismatched. They was wrong as two left shoes. But to my understanding, hey, I mean, I'm old school. But he was like, that's what they're supposed to be. That's how I bought them. I mean, you bought them like that on purpose? And then your britches is too short, so he want everybody to see his socks. Craziest thing in the world to me. Okay, let's move on. But if you can start your own sock company, I ain't hating on the fashion, because somewhere, somebody they're selling these socks for $30 a pair. You only got 2 feet. So you got $15 sock on each foot. Hey, millennials, baby, they figured out the game. They figured out the game. Now, here we go. Let's get back to this right here. But this is, I just showed you guys what all you have access to, what all you can do with this. And if you want to start a conscious collection, you got your hoodies where you can put your own sayings on top of here. Your indoor pillows, if you want to design your own posters, all of this stuff, fleece blankets, beach towels. You have access to starting your own clothing brand right here. Hats. There's more. There's more. Beanies, what we call toboggans down south. This is what you have access to at your fingertips. Now, if this free game that I gave you tonight doesn't have value, if that's not valuable to you, if that is not valuable to you, I just gave you the absolute one of the best games right now, and people are paying it through social media. Now you have a brand of clothing, and especially if you decide to brand that clothing line, then we can get off into talking about copyrights, trademarks, and all of that stuff like that. That's taking the game to another level. But I'm going to tell you why I did not copyright and trademark any of my stuff. One, because it was already uttered and spoken from somebody else, even my original quote. Because knockoffs is the best form of flattery. I know somebody that went right over somebody's head. I want somebody to knock it off my stuff and they making money and they ain't getting paid for it. I'm going to sue them. First of all, how would you know if somebody in Boise, Idaho is selling your stuff? How do you know if somebody in Kilimanjaro or Puerto Rico or somebody that's down on Canal Street is selling your stuff, unless it's only one or two ways that this is going to happen. Somebody's going to call you and say, hey, man, I just seen your shirts down here on Canal Street. Or you yourself is on Canal Street and you come across somebody that's selling a shirt that's like yours. But I want this is what I want to get you in the frame of mind of thinking. When I say knockoffs is the best form of flattery. Nobody knew who Tyler Perry was until the bootleg industry started bootlegging his plays. And we were buying those plays for $5, $10. Because nobody was going way over to South Carolina to see one of Tyler Perry's plays, and you didn't even know who he was. But Tyler Perry had been around for years before the Madea movement ever took off. Read his story. Listen to his story. That man has slept in his car. He was homeless. Now that's some dedication and sacrifice to achieve his dream. But that's not the point that I wanted to make. The point I wanted to make was nobody knew who he was until the bootleggers and the knockoffs started bootlegging and knocking off his plays. That's when Tyler Perry became famous, because now everybody wants to start going to see the actual play. Then you guys notice the history. It went from the plays to TV, from TV to movies. And now the man has a 300-acre lot in Douglasville, Georgia. Come on now, this man done brought Hollywood to Georgia. And just a couple of weeks ago, he made the Billy Club. Now tell me, was those knockoffs, being knocked off or bootlegged, was worth it? And actually, if you ask Tyler Perry, actually there should be a video on YouTube where he actually gives credit and says thank you to the bootleggers for bootlegging his plays, because it made him a billionaire. So if somebody is copying my shirts or copying my product, hey, guess what they just done for me? They just did free advertising for me. I'm going to tell you why that works in my favor. Because that quote or that particular saying or that particular motivational shirt came from out of here, as well as the people that I like and follow. Now, some of you who watching this podcast and listen to this podcast would have never known that Grant Cardone said that millionaires are the new middle class. Huh? So now what did I just do for Grant Cardone? Some people are going to start listening to Grant Cardone. Some people are going to start listening to Gary Vee. Some people are going to start listening to Les Brown. See? Now you see how this all works. Okay. Now, I kind of went a little long with this one, and I really didn't want to go that long because I wanted to give you guys the game on the shoes, but we would definitely tie that in to another podcast, how you can start your own shoe line. If you guys have been following me, especially in my Premier Leather Crafters business, you guys know that I have a shoe line or a custom sandal line. That's all leather. Check that out if you ever on that leather page, Premier Leather Crafters, and you can see those sandals. So now, with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. I thank you guys again for tuning in and following and riding with me on Plugged In, where I think, again, this is the hottest show podcast that's out there right now, because this is not one of those shows that's just filled with a whole bunch of gossip and rhetoric. And if this is something that can actually, if you guys are keeping up with this free game, I hope that somebody, it is my wish that somebody grab a hold to this game and run with it. Now, everybody won't. Everybody won't. Because some people are just destined. Not to say destined, because nobody's destined to be in the condition that they're in. They volunteer to be in the condition that they're in. Again, you guys have heard me say it on another podcast. There's no reason for nobody in 2020 to be broke. Absolutely not. I just gave you free game, drop some jewels on how you can make money for free, where it's 100% profit. And if you guys can go back, check that out on the YouTube. Again, my live only stay up for 72 hours. Then we pull them down. You guys will have to go and listen to them on the podcast with wherever you listen to podcasts on. Plugged In is on there. Plugged In with Robert D. Muhammad, or you can go back and check me out on YouTube under the same name, Plugged In with Robert D. Muhammad. But you guys, it is my wish that you guys take this free game and apply it. I'm waiting for somebody to say, hey, man, that don't work. If you do, if you follow the blueprint, and if you can actually even reach out to me, just like Miss Gray did. Miss Gray just earned herself a free one-on-one session with me. I'm going to help her get her business page set up and established. Shout out to Miss Gray once again. Thank you for tuning in to Plugged In. And things like that can happen. Things like that can happen. But take this game, family. It's free. I'm not getting paid 1 cent for this because I want to see you achieve the dreams that you want and live life on your own terms. I'm Robert D. Muhammad with Plugged In, and I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Peace.